All right, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. USA Vice Forecaster JD Rapp with you in the weather center right now. We have another tornado warning that's just been issued. Let's go in here and sort it out here. This runs effective 3 p.m. Eastern Time, Eastern Moore County in Central Georgia, North Central Jones County in Central Georgia, and to about 3 o'clock. It runs to 2 p.m. East Central Time. At 2:35, a severe thunderstorm producing a tornado was capable of producing a tornado was located, assuming you're over Russellville, or 9 miles north of Floyd, and moving northeast around 40 miles per hour. So hazardous tornado. So if you're in any of these communities, this is the time you need to get centered and get covered. These clusters of thunderstorms is capable of producing tornadoes and widespread significant wind damage. So, yeah, goodness gracious, this is looking very tight rotation, very tight. So there could be a possible tornado right with this whole system. So you need to be moving into your safe spot right now. Put many walls between you as possible right now. We have a tornado warning. All right, still got that tornado warning. It really looks tight. So we'll put the pause here a minute and pull up. We see we have any debris up in the loft of the storm. So this is a tornado right now warning that runs in effect into around um, 3 p.m. So we definitely want to 2 p.m. We would definitely want to be in your tornado safe spot right now. Put many walls between you as possible. This is that tornado red next to green. That is gate to gate sheared right there, and we definitely want to be keeping that in mind right now. So if you Wartburg, Smeller, damn Dimes Fry area, Jointon, Smeller, that area with a decent size of rotation. So if you're in any of these communities, I would seek shelter in your tornado safe spot right now is into a small terry room. And let's see, so the orange color is about 95%. Don't really see any debris there, but this tornado one goes in effect about 2 p.m. No confirmed report of a tornado on the ground right now, so that is some fantastic news. So you still want to be in your safe spot again, and make sure you put many walls between you as possible. So hold on a second. All right, so you're back with us again. We have a tornado warning that runs in effect until at 2 p.m. This is just that same tight circulation. So same things were in that one tornado warning. You want to be in no room, no windows, because yeah, goodness gracious, this is a very tight rotation here. So you want to be in a site-set building. You don't want to be in a mobile home right now. Mobile homes are not as safe to be in the side of a tornado. Let's see, we had something. Alright, you just joined me on the weather saying we have a tornado warning right now. It goes in effect through 2 something. And let me make this go a little bit bigger. And yeah, goodness gracious, things are really tightening up right now. So we could be dealing with a possible tornado with the storm right now. So looking through some reports coming in. That was some other stuff. So just hold on a second. I'm gonna do a little something. Alright, we still got the tornado warning that goes into effect through 2 p.m. A very tight rotation. It looks like it's moving around northeast around 40 miles per hour, folks. So definitely, you're still going to be in that tornado safe spot. It's very tight. Looking for the tools that we use around here. And see, this does have any debris with this tornado warning. If it does, you're not going to see it coming. So it's to be worth to get into your tornado safe spot. Let this tornado warning pass you. It runs in effect into 2 p.m. And definitely we want to be on the safe side. Just a second, be right back. All right, we still got that tornado warning that goes in effect into around 2 p.m. So far, I have not seen a tornado, but it looks very tight. So these little individual supercells, yeah, that looks very tight. If you're in a smaller area, Barkboro or Fry area that tight, and that is some very decent shear there, gate to gate sheared. So that is a tornado warning in effect into around 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern time. So definitely it's time to seek shelter. So pull up our tools here. Does it look too bad? So Hold on, I'm going to put things on pause for a second. So I'm by myself. I'm doing coverage. I'm going to have to do. Tornado warning continues still. Let me zoom into it. So far, we don't have any confirmed report. It's just moving northeast at moving northeast at 40. So this is a very strong storm. I mean, it's quick. So you're not going to have a lot of time with it. And yeah, goodness gracious, it's very tight now. So this could be a possible tornado. So you need to be taking shelter immediately. If you in Georgia, in this area, if you in James Fry area or broke or smaller area. This is a possible tornado, folks. You need to be taking shelter. It's like red next to green. I'm looking at our tools again that we use around here to see if we have any debris right now. But there could be something trying to form there. So yeah, definitely you need to be taking some shelter immediately. And very tight with this, that red next to green, giving you 60 to 70 knots sheared. That is some potent shear there. So you need to be taking your tornado precaution area right now. So we want to continue with this tornado warning about 2 p.m. If you with us about earlier, we're doing ice storm coverage, and now we're back into severe weather mode. About Little Hook, and I'm gonna put the tracks. If you're getting ready to be in towards Austinville, up here towards Inkton, you be ready because in case that storm is coming through you. Before we get ready to send things back in a few seconds, I got some rednecks. I'm just checking, make sure we don't have any more shared, but yeah, this is a very tight couplet. Very tight. So this could produce a possible tornado, and it could be developing on the ground right now. So we definitely want to be taking this very seriously right now as storms continue today into the environment. So it's not 2 o'clock yet. It's almost 2. We've been dealing with severe weather since the afternoon hours. Hold on a second. All right, Jacob just gave me some information here. It just shows the tornado warning. If you're in this Texas area, you definitely need to be taking some shelter. Thank you, Jacob, if you can hear me. So, team has been with you all afternoon tracking tornadoes, and this does look like a pretty decent storm because going through maybe 65 knots, that is very strong shear there, looks like. And this could be a possible tornado. So, tornado warning in process until about 2 p.m. I won't be surprised if this thing would get extended because it looked, excuse me, very tight. So, we would not surprised if they will extend a tornado warning. Now it's moving northeast around 50 miles an hour, so keep talking more. So this could be a possible tornado on the ground right now. You're not going to treat it on the ground, but I would still take your tornado precautions area for a few more minutes. The green's going to 90, so we could be seeing some very strong wind shear with this tornado. So I would still take this as a tornado that has been on the ground right now, that has not been touching yet. Let me check the SPC just in case we have any watches. And we don't have any watches that have been issued right now. Doesn't mean we will. I mean, as this continues, but all right, switch back. And just got about 5 more minutes on a tornado warning. And red next to green, gate to gate sheared there. And you can see the bottom of that is almost to 70 notches because that is very tight shear there for that tornado. So we wouldn't have to be watching that storm really closely. So right now, if you're in the path of this, make sure everybody in that house has a football helmet. Put them on their head right now, just in case this will happen. If you are traveling, take shelter. I mean, don't take shelter in a ditch just in case it overflows. So water or a bridge or something like that. But I don't want anybody on the road right now. This is a tornado. Even mobile homes are not going to be safe. Be in a trailer. So please, seek shelter now. Here's the Echo Top. Don't look. Echo Tops today could be a little tight because this storm of the north of it, a joint area, it looks pretty tight. And that's one thing why we are continuing to watch this storm. And there could be a little something, maybe trying to, all right, we'll have to watch it. All right, we're starting to get a little into the blue color. Not blue, but the green. There could be a little something there trying to get going. So we would have to see about this one storm as it continues. So tornado warning continues into about 2 p.m. About another 2 minutes, it will expire. Just looking to see what anybody else is saying on the chat room here that I work with. Looks like we could be dealing with another tornado with the storm. All right, we're gonna have to stay with this tornado warning. It's a damaging tornado, so we want to have to switch some gears here. So just hold on just a second.
Alrighty, we're covering some developments here coming out of.
I'll be on a little bit, Isaac.
Mason
Okay.
Here. Yes. All right. 1 second while I get some information pulled up. I saw a dual polarization signature. It looks like something was radar confirmed. It was right around I-85, or no, I-75. That's the a tornado producing storm around I-85 Jarl Plantation area. And I'm going to go ahead and see if I can do multiple panels there. But yeah, we'll go ahead and I'll show you guys what we've been seeing on radar here just over the past several minutes here. So I'm going to put this in motion here. Hopefully you guys are able to see this pretty good. All right, there we are. Now we got a better view here. I'm going to focus in towards I-85. See right around there. You can see what looks like a little bit of a debris signature here on National Weather Service Doppler radar. You can see on differential reflectivity, we have, you can see a little bit of, right there. This is where obviously anything that's being returned on here, we're getting a vertical pulse on here. See right there, that's what we consider possible debris signature, but again, something that the Weather Service has confirmed to be a tornado. Looks like the indication is, again, tornado at 2:57. This was at least 10 minutes ago over Jarl Plantation. Again, possible tornado, something that's radar confirmed. Again, there is heavy rainfall with this system here. You can see right there that velocity. You can see right there where it spins up, that red against green. I'm going to look at that scan real quick. Just go back a few scans here, see how things have progressed. But you can see right there that very strong indication here as this. As we got close to I-80. I'm going to get inspector tool here. I'm still on the same scan, but I'm going to look at this velocity signature here, just right over Interstate 80. And you can see the indication there keeps stopping. I don't know why, but you see 60 against 50. Yeah, like 55 outbound, 50. So that is pretty much 100 knot shear with this low level shear here. You can see this 55 knots against 50 knots inbound. So I mean, when you're seeing a signature like that, there's definitely a very strong rear flank within there. So I mean, this again was east of between Forsyth and Darrell Plantation there. And I'm going to try and zoom out there. It looks like we have another warning here. This is for sections of Greene, Hancock, Taliaferro, and Warren counties here. And the indication there is here. Looks like a new radar scan here. I'll show you. Looks like, obviously, it's nothing that's red against green, but we got a very strong surface-based updraft or a mesocyclone within here. So I'm going to show you what the indication is. 66 miles per hour inbound against 20 miles per hour inbound. So, I mean, we have over 40, maybe 50 knot shear with this particular couplet, and it looks like. And again, this is just north of Sparta, between White Plains and Sparta areas in Georgia.
All right, I'm back.
All right, so we're going to put this into motion here. You can see a very tight increase here in this inbound velocity here. Again, looks like a little bit of green or a little bit of outbound within there. We'll see how much we get of a back downdraft within there. But I mean, the indication is this is a very strong couplet with increasing low level shear. This is, again, between Sparta and White Plains, Georgia. Looks like you folks in Crawfordsville, west of Norwood, are, looks like you guys are Looks like this is tracking towards you guys. Definitely take your tornado precautions if you are in any of these areas. Again, just north of Macon, Georgia. Again, we saw a 100-knot shear couplet within there, and there was confirmation of the debris, an area of debris that was lofted near Interstate 5.
New tornado warning in place. Looks like it.
Yeah,
new
it's up
tornado
here.
warning room.
If you look at this shear couplet that's here in White Plains.
Yeah, it's a very tight, Isaac. This is a damaging tornado, so you definitely do not want to be in a mobile home right now.
Yeah,
this is the time to evacuate that mobile home. This is a life situation. This is where we're coming on to let you know we have these tornado warnings. And look at this tight couple, Isaac. I can draw this really good.
All right, yeah, I'll put it on you. Yeah, there. So that's your base velocity product there. Looks like you have a different National Weather Service Doppler radar selected on your view.
I'm using radar scope.
Radar scope, yes. But yeah, that's what I mean. I have KJGX Robbins Air Force Base radar, and again, this warning for Green Hancock.
Are these super sales today, or kind of are these super sales?
Well, just looking at the heights with the storms, I'll go ahead and I'll show you what I mean here. But yes, so you can see these are fairly discrete storms that are growing upscale. But I mean, this cell down here looks like we got backing from strong winds here. But this is just generally a cluster. You got multi-cell. This is probably a multi-cell storm where it's still in the mature stage, like especially down here, but it's not necessarily discrete. So I mean, it's not damaging necessarily supercell characteristics within there. But yeah, we'll get to that update fairly soon. But I'm gonna look at CC here, see if there's anything developing with that. But yeah, I mean, just with that thunderstorm outflow here that we're looking at. I mean, there's a lot of nothing we can immediately confirm as a tornado at this point. But again, we did have radar confirmation of a tornado once again near Interstate 85. You can see that happening right down in there.
So if you're in that area, you need to be shaking shelter immediately. You're in that area.
I meant I-75,
not I-85. If you're in I-75, you need to be shaking shelter right now.
Well, yeah,
there's a tornado on the ground, right?
The threat for a tornado is mostly east of Interstate 85 right now. You can see, or 75. I see right there. This is where the cell is located in proximity. It looks like it is going to be approaching the Eatonton vicinity within the next maybe 20 or 30 minutes or so. So again, be prepared in case this low-level shear persists. Maybe they might extend this warning into other areas within Putnam County, if I'm not mistaken, there near Eatonton. So definitely be alert, you folks in that vicinity. Looks like you can see this cell right here. It's not really growing upscale. So I mean, so this is what we call a multi-cell thunderstorm there. You can see where we're seeing the strongest updrafts. That's where you're seeing that's where the storms are mostly in the mature stage, and we'll see what happens with that. All right, yeah, we'll pay close attention to how that develops. This thunderstorm appears to be in the. Looks like it. Come on. I think this thunderstorm has grown upscale, but it might be in the dissipating stage. Yeah, it appears to be in the dissipating stage. It still might be in the mature stage as you track into areas near White Plains, and there's a little bit of upscale growth within there.
So I'm going to say, if you're in Round Oak,
when a thunderstorm's
Yeah.
in the dissipating stage, there's still shear that may be conducive of producing a tornado, but the storm basically is falling apart when you're talking about several kilometers further aloft. But that will lead to some strong downdrafts with the thunderstorm. So I mean, it could very well recycle, go back into the mature stage in terms of like tops. The storm may build some heights, and that will probably be the situation. The air. The air with the thunderstorm. It's probably a little bit more stable further aloft. There's not as much backing with that. So I mean, we'll see how things do clear out. Further ahead, see if there's an environment where thunderstorms can fuel up. If we get any convection up around Augusta into the Carolinas, we're going to have to watch that pretty closely here. Again, these are the strongest cells that we're indicating right now, just between Macon and Augusta here.
Yeah. So if you're in this tornado warning,
Georgia, there.
If you're in North Georgia, Jones County in Georgia, this is a damaging tornado. So this is a life situation always. This is a tornado that could be on the ground right now, right?
Yeah, sure. And I will point out the Storm Prediction Center has highlighted a very small area for a more enhanced tornado threat. This would include the folks between Macon, Warner, Robbins, and Martinez. This is mainly a slight risk. This is tornado driven because again, this is an area of much stronger low level shear than we previously indicated.
Okay,
and I will point out this impacts sections of Interstate 75. And if I'm not mistaken, that appears to be
Here, I got it pulled up here. Here's the tornado risk, folks. I want to watch your guard down. This is not really in the forecast today, was it?
Well, I mean, we've had this marginal, at least indication that this could evolve into a local tornado development area. But I will point out, I haven't seen any mesoscale discussions from the Storm Prediction Center yet. I think I'm not expecting. I'm not really expecting right away that there's going to be like a tornado watch or something that's very organized, because this is a very narrow area that they are monitoring here at the Storm Prediction Center. So it looks like much of the area is at least in a marginal threat, but again, this narrow corridor that they have been monitoring here, because a lot of these storms have been in the mature stage where, again, there's a organized mesocyclone within, like you're seeing some little bit of a mesocyclone in some of these more discrete cells that are falling apart further aloft.
Here's rotation right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch back to our reflectivity velocity products here, just to see what we have. But yeah, I'm going to be paying attention to this area right here. We have 75 or 85, might even be a little more than that, area of inbound velocity. That could be a very strong updraft that's cycling around much cooler air that's wrapping in there. So I mean, obviously this is a classic Hook Echo signature. Looks like that is continuing to track. Looks like the way it's tracking here looks like it might be taking a track a little bit. It might be a little bit closer between Crawfordsville and Sharon areas. I mean, definitely we'll see how this does develop a little bit further aloft if this motion does persist, or if the track persists, because you can see a lot of the strongest winds with this are near the base of the storm. I'm going to go ahead and just cycle between these tilts areas. I mean, we had a comment from Storm Community there. I'm going to see what we can infer there, but you can see some of these storms
have been producing some of these storms have been producing a debris ball, because a couple of my Cameron showed one earlier from these storms, and my friend
Yeah.
Aaron that works on my page actually shows one too. So these actually could produce minor damage. At 217, I have an update. Something about go down, showing it did have some of these have touchdowns today, Isaac.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, kind of so what the indication is here on Doppler radar looks like. Yeah, now we're looking at you now look at this a new reflectivity scan. I'm gonna show you what I got here, but you can see right there you got a very strong hook echo, like just west or east southeast of White Plains. So you see that is a very strong updraft that is wrapping around there. That is near the base of the storm. The winds are coming out of the west, but then there's a big U-turn right there in terms of the winds that are cycling like near that updraft. That is very strong indication of low-level shear at this time. So 60,
so you want to be shaking some shelter
mile
now.
per hour shear against 40. So that is well over 50 knot shear, well over that. I mean, just right there. 0 mile per hour against 81. So that could be 60, 70, maybe.
All right, Isaac, I'm gonna tell you, on the damaging tornado, text here, I guess you could tell people they do not need to be in trailers right now. This is a live situation.
Yeah, so again, the Weather Service does not advise that a tornado is on the ground at this time, but one could develop really quickly. And again, with that hook echo that we're seeing, it would be no surprise that we get maybe a more substantial tornado from this. We'll see if we have any vertical pulses here on radar. It doesn't really look like there's anything that's debris at this point. But again, even though there's no indication of that, this is the base of the storm. Obviously, this is not the base of the storm that this is showing exactly. This is probably at an altitude that's near the base of the storm, because we're in somewhat close proximity to the Macon radar, if I'm not mistaken. That's Robins Air Force Base. That is, trying to see where that is based out of, but it is somewhere south of Macon, Georgia, somewhere. So I will point out that this is an altitude that's not specifically the base of the storm. And I'm going to look at these scans here. You can see that hook echo looks like that. You can see how that hook echo did progress. I'm trying to go to the last image or the latest image without it looping. But we're going to be paying attention to these next couple of scans for sure, because, again, this is very strong, low level, like near the base. That is where the strongest winds are. That those updrafts are wrapping around the storm in terms of altitude. And if we get a good rear flank out of this, then it's going to be backed by that updraft. This could be a very potent tornado concern here heading into you folks in Crawfordsville.
Yeah, definitely. How long will this last today, Isaac?
Well, the organized. We're going to be paying attention to this particular line of storms. We have an area you can see probably a little bit of clearing, or just a very narrow area.
Yeah, that ain't good.
Monitored this area. I think where there's much higher surface cape. Looks like the initial warning for you folks north of Macon, that has been allowed to expire at this time, or either that or it's been canceled.
The internet's kind of been messing up. The internet's been kind of slow today.
Yeah, I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Okay, that area is backed by 1,000, maybe a good area. It's 500. We got a narrow corridor, what looks like 1,000 surface cape that is tracked into like the surface instability overall is kind of decreasing. So there will be some opportunity for storms, for surface-based updrafts. I'm going to see what the updraft velocity values are. I'm just going to verify that I have, or I'll show you guys what I have on my end here. Here I'm talking. Oh, Chrome tab. That's what I want. Hourly mesoscale analysis. Oh, there we are. All right, there you are. So I'm going to show you what I'm seeing here on mesoscale analysis. You can see there's a little bit of a narrow corridor of at least 700 to 1,000 surface cape. Obviously, the contours only show anything that's above 500 and a small area that's above 1,000. Surface instability is going to be on a gradual decrease. So, I mean, any tornado concern with this will probably not be like an organized several-hour event where we're talking like tornado watches or anything like that. But the Storm Prediction Center has monitored this small corridor of about 1,000 surface cape, probably about 700 or 800 associated with those cells. So
wow.
we got good upward forcing with these particular thunderstorms with this. So and the low-level lapse rates, I'm interested in seeing what we got here. At least 6 to 6.5, stretching up to eastern Georgia. So I mean, that's a good situation. We got some mixed layer and mixed layer cape as well. At least 500 still. So I mean, still that is very good indication that we have good potential for updrafts with them. But the real question is like whether they'll be rotating updrafts. And then this is what I'm seeing here. I mean, this is probably the base of the storm might be a little bit more than 1 kilometer. I'm going to see what this 3 kilometer shear indication is. So yeah, we had a small area of 30 to 50 knot being indicated, but I mean, this is probably a little bit more than that in terms of, I think this is more helicity driven. I'm interested in seeing what the product is here. Oh yeah, up to 100.
All right, we'll take a look here.
So I mean, probably the tornado.
All right, now it's just a radar indicated. Well, we just got an update, Isaac. Now it's just a radar indicated tornado.
Radar indicated or radar confirmed? Oh yeah, it's radar indicated rotation.
Radar.
So I will clarify, there is not a confirmed tornado in particular with this, or as far as the Weather Service, or as far as we know, just looking at radar. We'll see what spotters have to report. But
there's more sails, Isaac. Take a look at these sails here. Take a look at all these sails, trying to develop here. There's one there, and one. I'll show you on the screen. I'll have to switch back to my radar. There's one over here, one over there, and one over there.
Yeah, I mean,
you see that
in
one?
particular, looking at the low levels of the low levels there, that's where we have some stronger updrafts. I mean, looks like
this is more shear
out. This is not discrete supercells by any means here, but again, just an area where along this narrow band of showers and thunderstorms, you got some low level shear with that. So I mean, and a little bit of helicity backed with it too. But I mean, we're seeing some fairly modest wind shear with this setup overall, and a broad area of surface instability. It's going to be fairly short-lived, just a couple of hours. Obviously we had that indication of that tornado just north of Macon, Georgia. Obviously, we're going to see what the local storm reports are. That they'll definitely survey the damage in that area. I'm going to check with the National Weather Service, Macon,
in Georgia,
okay. New development looks like they have just issued a tornado watch. Tornado watch number 1, the first tornado watch of 2021. So the tornado watch number 1 looks like for parts of eastern Georgia and southwest parts of South Carolina. I'm fairly surprised they just went ahead to issue this tornado watch. I mean, they have not hinted towards a watch issuance at this point, but again, this is I'm going to see what the Weather Service. The forecasters.
It's in effect at 8 o'clock. Will we see storms, tornado winds all the way to 8 o'clock tonight? You think?
Maybe a couple embedded tornado warnings within that area, but this will kind of be a situation that will bear watching for sure. Just any time between now and 8 o'clock, you'll definitely see some thunderstorms with the narrow area of surface-driven updrafts, surface-based convection with this. So I mean, just given what the Twitter feed has seen here, a tornado warning continues for Sharon, Georgia. I'm going to see what the developments are. I'm just looking at the Twitter feed, and again, that just in a new tornado warning now just popped up for Crawfordsville, Sharon.
Okay,
This is an extension of the ongoing tornado warning that's in effect now. And again, I'm going to see.
When does this expire?
The current tornado warning.
Again, screens.
There's a new warning in effect now. It's an extension of the ongoing warning in the Sharon vicinity in Georgia.
Okay,
here.
I got that. Yeah, I got that right in here right now. So let me read the new text here. It's in effect at 4 o'clock for western Warren County and central Georgia, south central Toluca County and central Georgia, south central Watson County and central Georgia at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. At 3:27, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was over Burton or Calhounville, moving east around 30 miles per hour. So what's what we expect? Tornado. So look, this is another radar indicated tornado. So technically, this is the time you want to seek shelter, right?
Yep. It hasn't popped up on the screen yet, but I'm trying to fetch the information from the SPC feed here, but information from the SPC feed. And there's a little echo coming on your end. So again, this is areas again in parts of Warren County. It looks like it still has to refresh here. I wonder if there's a refresh button on here. But yes, it's a continuation of this ongoing warning here. We had a very strong low-level updraft with this. So, I mean, with that backed winds and that, there could have been a rear flank within there. Okay, that is actually a replacement to the ongoing warning. There we go. So an extension of the ongoing warning expanded to include sections of Wilkes County, Georgia, too. I'm seeing 74 against 20. So that is at least.
Here's another couple eyes. Look at this one.
With this, so it looks like the track is adjusting. Looks like it's taking a more. There's a more north, it's taking a track closer into Sharon, the Sharon area, and I'm trying to fetch some new developments here coming out of the Storm Prediction Center.
Here's another one here. Another red next to green spot.
Another red next to green spot. Let me see what we got there. Yeah, that is fairly weak low level shear with that. So I mean, when you're seeing like dark red against dark green, that could be an area of developing directional velocity with that. But it's not necessarily something. Just because you're seeing like dark red against dark green. That could be weaker low-level shear, but if that does, if you see increasing winds with that, just on velocity, that kind of helps us hint whether something tornadic could be developing, and it would be no surprise if something does end up happening here.
Yeah, but it wouldn't surprise me either. So if you're in Sharon area, you need to be shaking some shelter now. This is a tornado warning. If you're in Candy area, you need to be shaking shelter. If you're in Calhounville area, you need to be shaking shelter. You're under a tornado warning. And folks, excuse me, we already have reported tornadoes, from this whole area, Isaac, haven't we?
Well, yeah, we've had one official confirmed report of a tornado as of this point with this whole setup. There might have been one earlier in the morning. I'm not sure. But according to local storm reports being fetched up to this moment, looks like nothing on the LSR analysis. No reports have been received by the Storm Prediction Center yet. Probably the Weather Service still has to process it on their end, but we're going to see what spotters the public has to confirm for us here very soon. And again, I'm trying to get the watch product on here. I'm gonna get to the.
I can get it on there for you. I can get it for you on here. I had it. Let me go here to. I'll have to go in here and type it out.
Yeah.
Again. So like I said, this is a day where we thought there could be some tornadoes, but we didn't know we'll have so many, right?
Yeah, so I'm going to see what Peachtree City Weather Service their feed is saying here. But yeah, again, their tornado watch. Okay, watch quick view. I'm going to see what we got there.
Down here,
There
I
we
got
go.
it down
Okay,
here.
so what the weather the Storm Prediction Center is saying, a few intense thunderstorms are occurring ongoing over central Georgia. These have resulted in fairly isolated tornadoes. Yeah, like you see there, that's the tornado watch area. And again, they're monitoring for the potential for a couple of tornadoes and isolated damaging winds upwards of 70 miles per hour.
70.
I just got a text from a coworker. Yeah. Yeah, hold on. Okay, excuse the delay there.
So if you, okay, it's fine. If you're in Sharon or you in Candy area, you need to be taking cover now. This is a tornado warning. Looking at our tools, there's there's a little debris here, Isaac.
Let me
I'll
see.
switch to my radar again.
Here, I'm going to see what's being. Yeah, it looks like that hook echo might be recycling a little bit. Just seeing what radar is showing here. The super res correlation coefficient here. The values. Hold on. Okay.
There's a little debris spot there.
Yeah. So what I'm not confirming any of this is debris at this time, but yeah, you can see just within this area right here near Crawfordsville, you can see that little area. There's a updraft, but again, looks like. I mean, even though we're not able to confirm this is a tornado on the ground at this time, there could be small, there could be small debris that you never know. This could be debris. This could be just clutter or concentration of vertical pulses against the base of the storm and everything. So we're going to have to watch that pretty closely there.
So if you just join us at 2 o'clock, we'll almost be 3 o'clock in a little bit. We're under a tornado warning in this area. If you're in Sharon or Candy area, this is the time to seek shelter. This is a tornado warning, sure. And this is New Year's. I know a lot of people are doing stuff with families, or some people are social distancing, but still, you definitely need to be seeking shelter. Even this is all right, Isaac. We just had a report of something here now popped in from a hospital here. Emergency manager reported one injury from a mobile home was near. All right, you could take over on this one, okay?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Is that a report from a? Okay. Oh, okay. A mobile home was overturned. Okay. One female occupant. Numerous trees were also snapped and uprooted. And so yeah, that is the first tornado local storm report today, and I hope everyone was able to take heed with that warning, because there was not really much reaction time with that. So again, this is why, again, if sometimes community warning systems fail and you may have very little time to react to tornado warnings. So just something to really be mindful about, especially with this one here. And again, no word on the mobile home occupant's condition.
All right, we got two tornado warnings now.
Some areas have had minor injuries. Yeah. All right. You said new warning?
Well, it shows there's two for 3 o'clock, but still,
yeah.
I think that's just the same one. But still, I mean, this is where people just need to pay attention and do things right, because if you don't, this is where you get into where we have one person injury from a mobile home. This is where we try to tell you mobile homes are not safe to be in this type of event, right, Isaac?
Yeah, correct. I'm trying to see. Oh, okay. Nothing was followed up with the Weather Service on that, but I'm trying to see if this shear is increasing with this area here. Super res velocity here. I'm going to look at these past few scans here, see what. Yeah, it looks like the shear is kind of weakening with this. Still, maybe a concern here with even if a thunderstorm is in the dissipating stage, it still may be tornadic. The tornado threat has not ended, but it looks like that couplet's right over Sharon. So I mean, you folks in Sharon, other areas in Wilkes and Warren counties.
If you live in Sharon, you need to be shaking your.
This is an
If
area.
you're in Sharon, you need to be in your shelter right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
We're back a second.
Mm-hmm. All right. All right. So haven't seen any new major developments coming out of this area, but hopefully everyone is responding to this warning, and we'll pay close attention, see how this couplet develops. All right. You can see that loop looks like some more of the inbound velocity, or the inbound velocities have decreased a bit, but still a fairly strong mesocyclone with a rotating updraft. Looks like that is over Sharon right now. And I will point out that a few of these storms, again, have produced an isolated tornado concern. And according to the Storm Prediction Center, looks like they're monitoring areas of central Georgia and western South Carolina. Looks like throughout the late. So again, the watch is in effect till 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. And for another few hours, we would expect some areas along this line. Looks like we're watching this area clearing right there between Warner Robins and Milledgeville, probably up towards Augusta. This is going to be something to bear watching on pretty good here. And it looks like near Eatonton, this is something that we're going to watch fairly closely. Now we're getting very good. Now look at those inbound velocities. There's with that area clearing just near Eatonton. New warnings with this, and obviously we're seeing what everything is still radar confirmed. Nothing that's confirmed to be a tornado, but we have three tornadic circulations. Looks like right there near Eatonton, just south of there, and another circulation right there, and another. Yeah, you can
All right,
see.
we got 3 tornado warnings now.
Yeah, it looks like, again, you folks near Eatonton, this activity is going to be tracking towards White Plains and Sparta. You can see 2 or maybe 3 different tornadic circulations that have developed with this. Looks like that one. Looks like that shear's kind of broadening out.
Look here, Isaac. This looks very tight.
These two. I'm going to go back to the latest scan. You can see 2 different tornadic circulations. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Like right in there and right in there. See that those tornadic circulations that are in place. And that removes my pen markings, but you can see 55 against so that is a 60 knot couplet that is rapidly increased there. So something could spin up without fairly quickly with this. So yeah, so 58 against minus. There's at least 7 knots of gate to gate shear, low level shear with this. So something to really bear watching here. So again, you folks in Eatonton,
if you're in these. If you're in Eatonton, you need to be shaking shelter. I'll pull up velocity. Yeah, goodness gracious. There's some particularly very strong wind shear there. And there's that red on that yellow marker. That is indicate some very strong shear there. So gate-to-gate shear means the red's coming in and green's coming out, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, so there's a rotating updraft. Looks like that's cycling around the base of the storm, that there's a good mesocyclone with that. And I again will point out, you can see it looks like there's a stronger outflow boundary that's associated with that. Just looking at the vertical pulses on radar, I'm going to go back to full screen, and I will point out once again these
Here's mine.
two different tornadic circulations right in there, and you can see where I have it highlighted. Again, this I'm gonna put this in motion there. See how that has developed. We had another tornadic circulation that just tracked through Eatonton as well, or just south of there. But you can see how the shear really starts to increase within that area. That these inbound velocities being caught by that. It looks like we're being coupled by some strong thunderstorm outflow with this area as well. So I mean, I'm going to go back to CC a correlation coefficient. This shows that this also
Here's
this product
mine. I'm gonna look at radar.
help us determine whether there's tornado debris. But I hold on, I did the wrong. I mean, I can only do. Hold on.
All right, I'll talk for a second. If you're in Elton, Eaton area, you need to be taking your tornado safe spot. This is your area, so there shows very strong signs of rotation. Pull up my scope tool to use. We're starting to see winds, Isaac, almost up to 50. I mean, there could be some gusts pretty strong with these storms. I mean, and starting to get one little spot right over here. This one tornado warning, almost 66. So this is a very strong signs of rotation right over there. Can you see that?
Yeah, right. And I'll show you kind of more of the what I'm seeing here on correlation coefficient. Just how I'm.
All right, I'll change mine.
We have a stronger outflow boundary. It looks like that's going to kick up some of these surface-based updrafts, or we're seeing more fuel that you see right there. Just looking at some of those more vertical pulses of the radar, some returns we're getting. I mean, obviously this isn't necessarily the base of the storm, but still some indication we probably have some thunderstorm outflow along this particular area. So, I mean, this is going to be a sign that, again, we got some backed downdrafts and some very like mesocyclones are developing fairly quickly. So, like rotation that is this is going to be an area of increased rotation there, and you can see I believe this is probably a clearing spot we got between just a broader area.
All that's going to do is heat things up.
But that's an area where there's
all right,
more.
Isaac, I'm almost going to show you something again.
So, yeah. Could you try?
I'm going to show you something.
Yeah.
Look at all those cells, Isaac. Look at that.
Yeah, I mean, this is a multi-cell cluster. I mean, there's some discrete areas where there's a stronger updraft. This is definitely these storms are in the mature stage where you got rotating updrafts, and then looks like some some back downdrafts that could be rear flanks. So I mean, tornadoes could develop fairly quickly. And again, looks like the Weather Service there's increasing storm motion too. So I mean, potentially some of these storms could be tracking over 70 miles per hour. Just looking at tilt 2 velocity.
So Deckley, when they when storms kick cock like 70 miles per hour, folks, you're not going to have time to wait on them. They're moving so quickly that is very fast moving storms.
I misread the storm motion. It's actually northeast at 30 miles per hour.
Okay, sorry.
But I will point out there's still like 70 knot shear with that. That's what I meant earlier. But I mean, just looking at the tilt 2 super res velocity, I mean, what I've seen earlier, it looks like the storms are kind of slowing down a bit, which that is an indication that the tornado threat is growing with these showers and thunderstorms. And I'm going to show you guys my velocity once again. We'll get back to JD pretty soon here, but you can see that you can see these. Oh yeah, right in there. It looks like that could be something that's developing right there. See, that is at least this one is at least 70 mile per hour tilt 2. This is a stronger mid-level updraft. So a little bit higher shear that's in place further aloft, but at the surface, near the base of the storm, just looks like we got very strong rotating updraft further aloft. That is gonna fuel for some stronger downdrafts with this. And
it's going to.
Yeah, and then
So,
you can still
like
see
I
the
said,
same
folks,
indication on here. It looks
this is
like,
why the SPC went with a tornado watch, is because we have plenty of wind shear. This is what I looked at yesterday, Isaac. I looked at some of this and I said, well, we could be dealing with tornadic weather through New Year's Day, and I think this is a bad time of having it because it's not nighttime. It's a lot of people are having get-togethers with their families, and some people do not know what to do when we have severe weather like this.
yeah, right. Yeah. Okay. So,
So let's go right back to me again for a second. We still have tornado warning continues to about new tornado warning to about 4:15 now.
Yeah, we'll see what developments come with that. But yeah, go ahead and show us what you have there.
Let's check a look here I'll put the newest scan on, and let me pull over here for a second so you can just see. It still looks like some pretty decent shear tighten up of these. So even these don't become a tornado quick, you could get some 70 miles of gust with them also too.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna check.
So this is a day where
what developments we got.
All right, still watching tornado warnings continuing. So far, watching this little line here too. We got several. So this wave here, this little cluster here, these could develop the tornadoes also too, Isaac, right?
Show me what you're talking about here. I gotta zoom back in.
I'll back out just a hair. It's this line down here.
Areas on the southern flank of that line.
Yeah.
I mean, looks like the highest surface instability is in proximity where those ongoing warnings are located. I mean, you can see a little bit of clutter that's in place a little bit further ahead. That's kind of inhibiting some of the surface-based instability on the on the southern flank of that line that extends well down into like southwest Georgia, parts of Alabama. But you can see where those warnings we have going on now. You have the terminal Doppler radar in Atlanta selected. That's not giving you any reliable data. I would use the Fort, the radar that's closest in proximity to that area. There's a little bit of a gap where you get the best radar coverage. It gives you probably reports coming out of higher altitudes because a radar beam might bounce at the ground and then it shoots well up into like areas further aloft from the base of the storm. So I mean that was kind of storm relative velocity is another helpful tool that I would look at. It doesn't factor in storm motion, but it gives you the velocity returns that are scan specific or storms just given. It doesn't factor in the storm motion, the base velocity. Like it shows you the velocity, whether it's inbound or outbound, but it factors in, it does factor in storm motion. Storm relative velocity does not. So you can definitely see if the storm slows down a bit, if that rotation does increase. But you can see that mesocyclone might be starting to that has recycled a bit moving through Eatonton, but it looks like now there's a stronger downdraft with that. It's not necessarily a stronger rotating updraft, but some of that air further aloft is cycling around that mid-level that area where there's a stronger updraft. So what could be that rear flank that might have pushed through Eatonton areas just south of there. We'll pay attention, see if there's any new developments coming out of that.
All right, 4:15 on that. And this tornado warning goes in effect about 4 p.m. And each one of these could produce a tornado. We have not. All right, they kind of trimmed one of them down now. So let me take a look at that. On velocity, looks a little bit better on that. The one by Eaton looks like looks very strong.
Slightly decreased with the up, not the Eatonton one, but just north of there. It's like your screen went out. Oh, there we go. Yeah, sometimes it takes a while to render the data.
All right. Jacob said something to us again.
Yeah, that's the warning text. Looks like for Baldwin.
Okay.
No, Baldwin, Putnam, Hancock until 4:15. So again, right now it is 3:52 Eastern time. So that'll be another 20 minutes on that particular warning there.
Okay. Thanks, Jacob, for the update. If you can hear us.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right.
Still
What new
watching these
developments
sales
do we
here.
have?
I mean,
Yeah.
well, so far, have you checked the Storm Prediction Center in Georgia and see if you heard, not the Storm Prediction Center, the Weather Service in Georgia for anything yet?
I'm going to see if we have any updates on the Twitter feed. All right. It's going to be a while before I. Okay. But yeah, no official confirmations of tornadoes at this time yet. Just the one near Macon so far. But yeah, we'll
Was
probably
it
get
an F1 or F2, you think?
They won't determine that for sure unless it's like they rate it based off the amount of damage it did. So like if the mobile home was overturned, chances are that might have been an EF1, probably EF2, my guess, but not necessarily for. I'm not like confirming that, but yeah, Danes Ferry mobile home overturned. That's the only official local storm report we have received at this time. Looks like the people at the National Weather Service in Peachtree City, obviously prefrontal line of showers, a few embedded storms, continuing to push east. All right, yeah, looks like that. This is converging with that surface low well over into the Mississippi Valley. Same low pressure system. Looks like a more of a mid latitude or upper or mid altitude cyclone that's in place probably as well. I'm trying to see what increasing low level advection along that warm front. So I mean, any storm that convection is being fed by that warm front, you're seeing a lot of that moisture that's advecting, and we're seeing some higher moisture returns probably or higher low level instability that than we've seen in previous model trends. And sometimes the models may slightly underdo a threat. So when meteorologists say that there's a non-zero chance of something that develops, there's something you don't want to underestimate them by saying that it's basically nothing. You may infer that, but sometimes Mother Nature can prove that you're wrong, and sometimes so meteorologists they can be paid. They may be paid to. Sometimes what they do is not 100% accurate. They're forecasters, not fortune tellers. So just remember that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just their wording they've used in
there's
their
still rotation with that
guidance package from this afternoon. Yeah, it looks like that gate to gate shear, it's kind of broadening out. So I mean that updraft might be in a little bit of still a mature stage, but looks like we might get a stronger downdraft with that. That we'll see how strong that upward forcing does continue. If
I think these all expire at 3 p.m. So you think there'll be more warnings be issued from this line?
Well, I mean, if that shear does hold up, areas around Sparta. They might extend a couple of these warnings, but again, this will be a more embedded and isolated issue. But they did highlight that narrow corridor and that slight risk. Now that tornado watch. So again, as we pointed out. So again, from areas to Greenwood towards Milledgeville, Sparta, Washington area, just north of Macon, as we pointed out. Looks like Macon's in the clear for now. We'll see if something does cycle up. But I mean that there's not. I believe that surface-driven instability is highest where those warnings are in place now. So again, it'll probably be for the next few hours. We're not expecting a tornado threat to last all the way till 8 o'clock, but it'll probably be a more localized issue once you go into the evening hours. We'll see if there's enough clearing. I believe instability's on a slight downward trend overall. So again, something to really pay attention to if you are in parts of eastern Georgia into western North Carolina. So that's the area they have highlighted. And again, as we pointed out, again, there's really modest shear, but it's much higher than what the RAP projections were showing. Now we've seen potentially 100-knot shear embedded within, like with the velocity returns that I pointed out earlier. But again, broad scale, most areas are between or averaging at about 50 knots. So that's indicating at least modest shear that's in place. And again, that's going to, any tornado threat would probably be contingent on if we get enough backing with that. So we're going to pay attention to that. And I will point out for us folks in the Midwest, this is the same surface low that is affecting all that Gulf moisture. Looks like the freezing rain has ended for us around the Illinois Valley, but areas in northern Illinois, northern Indiana, just the vicinity around the Great Lakes, something to bear watching, of course.
Here's some sheared here again.
Yeah, a little bit of low-level shear. That's we'll see if that increases. If it does increase over the next couple of scans, then that would be my inference whether they do go tornado warning or not with that. So again, it's we'll see what happens with that. Looks like we're just down to 2 tornado warnings now around the Eatonton to Sparta vicinity, just north of Milledgeville. So that's an area to keep a close eye on. Again, just Baldwin, Hancock, Putnam, and towards Greene counties that are in that particular area.
And they still got potentially some strong shear there too.
Yeah, it's mostly vertical shear that's in place on the southern flank. So again, that's where we're probably.
All right, now I just got 120. All right, 1 tornado warning just in process. This.
Yeah, they canceled the southern tornado warning because looks like there's not as much low-level shear. It's been decreasing overall. So I mean, there's not much backing or a stronger downdraft. Looks like that's focused more north of Milledgeville and just west of Sparta, as you can see there. So again, all clear for you folks in Milledgeville, Eatonton vicinities. Again, that's where we've had a little bit of a stronger outflow boundary that's causing more lift down to the surface. That's fueling stronger updrafts, and that inversion has eroded a little bit. And we're going to pay attention to that line as it approaches. You can see that gradient with that velocity as it tracks closer into Augusta, parts of South Carolina. We'll see how that does develop over the next couple of hours. But at this point in time, we'll obviously nothing's confirmed. That warning will continue for another maybe 10, 15 minutes or so. Yeah, they just canceled it. Yeah, I was going to say that.
All right.
Yeah,
so that is
no longer a
that is some fantastic news.
Yeah, so I definitely called the expiration of that warning, just given that scan. So I mean, we will continue to see how things do trend out.
Break in if we need to.
So this concludes our afternoon feed. We've been on for
severe weather update.
So we do appreciate everyone.
An hour and 21 minutes
with us, and we will. JD will be back to cover any more developments as we get there.
Anything else comes on.
We will see you guys later.